Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here, coming at you today doing something a little bit different in Clash Royale. Today I want to go ahead and take a look at a different type of deck from Legendary Arena over here in TV Royale. And you can see this player over here. Look at these cards won, guys, and check out the deck he's using right now. It immediately caught my eye because I haven't played the exact deck before, and also it requires no legendary cards, and I know that's a fan favorite, so I figured what we do in today's episode was just kind of give this deck a try, play it in a few matches, see if we want to make some tweaks or adjustments to help better suit our card levels, and then kind of go from there, guys. See if we can't have success with a deck like this. It relies heavily on the Elixir Collector because it is a rather expensive deck. We really don't have too many options along the line of low Elixir defensive counters, so we have to really play smart with this deck. But it seems like a pretty cool deck. You can see already out the gate here going pretty hard. He's coming at me with a Royal Giant Miner deck. So part of the reason, speaking of both Miners and Royal Giants, part of the reason that I like this deck and I like this sort of episode is to actually go a little bit against the current meta. I mean, it seems like lately if I'm going to bring you guys a no legendary video, it's like 99% going to be a Hog Rider deck or a Royal Giant deck or the Trifecta deck. That's pretty much what people are playing. So you don't see too many of these just really classic giant decks, and you can see already I'm out the gate pretty successfully there in the left lane. So now let's kind of analyze all the cards in the deck, and there is kind of a curveball in this deck. Well, there's maybe a couple of them. The guards are obviously your #1 defensive card in this deck in terms of a distraction, able to absorb the blows of Sparky. Maybe we'll go up against Sparky later on in the episode. I do plan on playing about 5 or 6 matches or so, try to get a feel for the deck, and hopefully we'll get better at it as we go along as well here. So what I want to do here is probably play this Elixir Collector, but this is what I'm talking about, guys. I don't have anything to take out this Princess very easily, so I'm going to have to use my Prince here, and I don't love using the Prince all by himself, so I'm going to use the Poison with him. I'm going to zap right now, and maybe, just maybe, I'll get this tower down. Oh, and indeed I do. So that worked out really well there, countering the Princess, but you see what I'm talking about, guys. A deck like this, there's no skeletons, there's no goblins, there's no fire spirit, there's nothing for a 2 or 1 elixir cost to go ahead and drop to counter that Princess. So that's maybe something we'll want to address later on in this video, but we'll kind of play it out and see how it goes here. So I'm going to use the Mini P.E.K.K.A on the left here to counter this Royal Giant. The Royal Giant Miner is a frustrating deck to go against because it seems like you're really focusing 90% of your attention the entire match on countering them, but this is what I want to have happen here. The Giant, albeit low on hit points, does get to the tower here, and I'm following up with the Prince, and oh, guys, didn't even see that Mini P.E.K.K.A, and apparently he didn't either. I was too busy concentrating on my big right-hand push. I didn't even see the Mini P.E.K.K.A there, basically for 20 seconds hammering away on that King Tower to secure us the victory, so we are happy with that. Let's go ahead and hop right into another battle because I have no complaints about the results of that one. So guys, be honest with me in the comments. What do you think of the current meta right now? And I'm genuinely interested to hear what you guys comment, not just throwing out a random question for random comments that I won't read. But, you know, I tend to see a large majority of the vocal minority really upset with the current meta, almost to the point of not even playing the game. I'm wondering if that's an overreaction by people just on social media, or if that really is, you know, representative of the entire community's frustration. So I know you guys are pretty sober thinkers, my audience, so why don't you guys let me know, what are your clans talking about right now? What's your biggest frustration in the game? And then maybe I'll go ahead and share those with the community manager next time that I talk to him. I did share what my opinion are on the biggest issues of the game actually yesterday with him, so it was good to echo some of the comments that you guys have been giving me to him, and obviously those are obviously win trading and fair play, albeit not the most important thing in my mind, but it is very important, even though it only affects the top percentage of players. It's obviously, I'm going to hold off on these cards here, obviously the whole fair play thing is important to the integrity of the game in terms of win trading and stuff like that. I think far more importantly is the diversity of legendary cards and the reworking and revamping of tournaments here. I'm going to use this zap. Hopefully I get a hit on this Prince. No, I don't, unfortunately. So he's going to get a few hits on my left tower here. Kind of lost handle on that defense there. A little bit too aggressive there maybe on my elixir pump when I wasn't full on elixir. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to talk the entire video about the state of the game. That's kind of getting to be a little bit of a tired subject, but obviously there are things that need addressing. Tournaments and legendary card availability are certainly two of them. So what I did want to know is what you guys think of the current meta. You know, Royal Giant is definitely the #1 complained about card in the game right now, so it's kind of fun to use decks like this. Whether or not you're a big fan of the Royal Giant personally, I could kind of take him or leave him. It's not my favorite card in the game, and at the same time, I don't hate Royal Giant as much as many seem to do in the game right now. There's always those hated cards. Now look at this, by the way, if I can digress real quickly here. I'm really going heavy on that left lane. I'm going to go ahead and sneak in a Giant in the right lane, although some may have been able to make a successful case that maybe I should have focused on trying to get the 3 crown because I had so many troops on the board as is. But as is, I'm going to go ahead and get a few hits anyway with this Giant and Musketeer on that right tower. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice this left tower here. Well, I guess I won't need to sacrifice it, but either way, it looks like we're going to be 2-0, guys, so pretty excited about that. First time playing the deck, too. Usually I don't do this. Usually I actually play a deck for a while before I bring it to you guys, but this guy has 165,000 cards won in tournaments, so maybe he knows a thing or two about what he's doing, and he at least has some sort of an interest in this deck to be playing it. Oh, look at that, a magical chest, guys. I'll go ahead and make this a pseudo chest opening video and open this one up right now just to see what's in it. I know some of you guys actually enjoy this, so let's go ahead and spend the 72 gems and see what we got here. So 639 gold, 5 goblins, meh. Mortar, no thanks. Barbarians, okay, I'll take barbarians. I'll take arrows. I'll take minions. Goblin Hunt, okay, whatever. 23 Goblin Hunts and guards. Okay, I like that, actually. Guards, 4 guards, that gives me really close to level 6 guards, and that will be definitely huge for me. So let's go ahead and start the next chest going, and then let's hop into the next battle here, guys. Oh no, a level 13. Uh-oh, this is not going to be good for yours truly. Level 13, I'm immediately scared, but we're going to go ahead and do our best with this deck. Let's kind of start things off with a Musketeer, not the Giant here. What do you thinking, Ash? So the idea here against a higher level opponent is obviously maintaining this elixir collector advantage the entire match. I really want to make sure that I have some sort of advantage because Lord knows I'm not going to have it on my card. So of course I don't kill the princess. They're going to have to waste the guards, and what we're going to do probably is start focusing on this left lane, try to get a big push going. What we're going to do is actually, he hasn't seen the Giant yet, so I'm going to start the prince way off in the corner here, and then I'll play the Giant, and hopefully we get something really good going here. So a little defense there. He plays the Musketeer. I'm going to play the Zap or the Poison, depends on what he does here. I'm going to drop the Poison at this point. I think I can go ahead and take care of that mini P.E.K.K.A. Indeed I do, and Zap, and can we get this tower down? It looks like we can't, unfortunately. I actually thought that was going to be a lot better than it turned out there. Let's go ahead and again focus on the elixir here, get another elixir pump on the board, try to maintain that advantage. We have the lead right now against these max level cards, so I can't really complain about that start, even though I thought and was hoping that I would take that left tower down there. So this deck obviously is pretty expensive. It's all about these big pushes, and then using your Giant, your poison spell, and your prince even defensively if you need to. So you might hear me say a Giant defensively, that really doesn't make much sense, but actually a Giant defensively can be really effective. I'm going to use my poison right here. Speaking of poison on defense, the Giant can be really effective defensively. People who play a lot of Giant decks, like our buddy Jason, for example, who's still with the clan, although he's not playing as much as he used to. So I get a hit in with the P.E.K.K.A. and I take down the left tower. That's what I'm talking about here. But anyway, the Giant can certainly be a very key defensive card. So although I have the lead right now, I still don't feel super good about things right at this point because I'm worried about a big push coming in the left. I really have no choice but to drop my guards here, mini P.E.K.K.A, Prince, everything on this Giant to just stop him from getting a couple hits on my tower there. So I'm going to put a Giant down in front of all these troops and kind of hope for the best here. Maybe a 3 crown, which would be really nice against this maxed out guy or gal maybe. Is it Hatcher like a chicken, or is it Hatcher like a hacksaw? I don't know. I don't want to guess. But anyway, Crucible Wrath is a great clan, so shout out to them if any of you guys are viewers. So he just barely gets that mini P.E.K.K.A down. I was hoping I could get the Prince to that tower for a few hits. That would have been great. As you can see, obviously, he's able to take down my left tower. Uh-oh, 2 elixir pumps to 1. I'm kind of feeling the pain right now, guys. I'm going to drop Musketeer in guards, and oh boy, I have a bad feeling about this. He has poison down, well-placed poison there, getting my Musketeer, my elixir pump, and my guards, and my King Tower. Oh no, we're going to really let this one slip. I felt good about it for a minute there, but it looks like this is indeed going to be our first victory. Good game, Hatcher. So let's go ahead and hop into another game. You know, as I said, guys, I was thinking about maybe making some adjustments of the deck, but actually I think it is actually a pretty solid deck. So you know what? Let's just roll with it, guys. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can get that loss behind us and pick up a couple W's here to end off this video. So this is an interesting hand to start out with here. The Prince and the mini P.E.K.K.A. I'm just going to try to go kind of all out over here and see what happens. I don't feel super good about it. Probably a way too aggressive play. And you can see it's already biting me. I haven't gotten any troops to the tower, and I don't get any troops to the tower. That definitely warrants the sad face there. So we're going to have to play defense now with the Musketeer, and you know he's at like 7 or 8 elixir at this point, as opposed to my 0. So we'll see what we can do here. You can see I used the guards there to kind of lay some cover fire for the Musketeer, but that was all for naught as the Valkyrie takes out my Musketeer. At this point, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put down an Elixir Collector. This could be a dangerous play right now, but the reason I placed it on the map is because he has the Ice Wizard all by himself. Okay, he added the Hog now, but generally when the Ice Wizard crosses that halfway mark on the map, the opponent probably isn't going to start a fresh push when they don't have anything tanking for it. They're probably more apt to do what this opponent did and reload that elixir pump. So now he has the 2-to-1 advantage on the elixir pumps. I'm kind of gonna go a little bit okay, I was gonna go a little bit aggressive, but then he played the Ice Wizard. I'm just gonna kind of ease back now and try to play some defense here. And this guy seems like a good player. He seems like a very good trifecta deck player, so far at least. I haven't noticed any misplays on his part. So kind of still learning the defensive options here and capabilities of this deck here. I probably, I'm not too happy with that defense, but hopefully I can turn it into something nice right here. Sometimes the Prince is able to actually push the Giant into the tower, and did it work there? It looks like, oh, that was a really nice Barbarian play by him there. I'm gonna have to use the Poison spell, unfortunately. This could have been so much more lucrative in terms of tower damage to that right tower there, but he had a very, very nice Barbarian play there. I'm gonna have to play the mini P.E.K.K.A. against this Hog Rider. He's gonna get another 2 hits in with that Zap spell. He is Johnny on the spot with the Zap, and again, I'm gonna have the same thing going myself with the mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Musketeer in the right. I'm gonna try to sneak the Prince in over here in the left, but he was ready with the Valkyrie. Hopefully I can get this tower down. Come on, Giant, one more hit. There it is. Okay, so the right tower is now down. He's coming at me pretty heavy here in the right as well. I'm gonna have to drop the mini P.E.K.K.A., but odds are he has the Zap up, and he does. He takes down my right tower. This guy's pretty good here, guys. So let's rebuild our Elixir Collector, as does he, and kind of prep for overtime at this point. So it's pretty much all tied up now. So what I want to do is get a Giant on the board here, way behind my King Tower, and just try to develop one of these really big pushes to eat into this 1 minute of overtime, hopefully taking down his tower. He's coming at me here with the entire trifecta. I'm going to go ahead and zap to try to hold up that Hog Rider there, and he doesn't get any hits on my tower. So I'm liking this right now, but there's those Barbarians, and unfortunately, as you just saw, I just used my Poison spell, so I'm going to have to use guards instead. I have Poison up, but it's going to be too late. I'm going to drop it on the tower here, at least help out my Giant a little bit, and maybe I can get this this Prince to that tower. I don't know. Come on, Prince, get to that tower. Oh, just really good defense there on his part there, and now he's coming at me pretty heavy here again, so I'm going to drop the mini P.E.K.K.A. in guards. That should be enough to stall things out in front of my tower here. He's going to get maybe a couple hits with these Barbarians and that Hog Rider, but certainly nothing to be super worried about, but only 10 seconds left in the match. This guy, I'll tell you what, man, very, very good game played here, and things weren't even looking that good for me, but it looks like it's going to end in a tie. So now we are guys, every single video, without fail, I lose track of my record. I think we're 2-1-1 or we're 3-1-1. Always lose track. So why do I even bother trying to keep track? Anyway, let's get a big W or two under our belts now. So going against Brownie here, another opponent who I'm not sure of their gender. Let's go ahead and start out with the Elixir Collector and just see what happens here. So Miner, of course, got to be a little bit quicker there, Ash, on the Miner defense. I have to get better on that. When I play the Elixir Collector, when you guys play the Elixir Collector, always try to be ready there ASAP with the literally holding the mini P.E.K.K.A. or whatever your counter is going to be right over that Elixir Collector and wait for those Miner lines to appear on the board. So obviously, without a doubt, Poison is the best counter to the Furnace, and that comes in handy because Furnace is seeing more and more usage, it seems like, especially in tournament play. But obviously, it's amazing the poison that is against the Furnace, because not only does it do a lot of damage, taking off more than half the hit points of the Furnace, but also it's killing the fire spirits that are being summoned or exiting the Furnace, whatever that verb may be. So this looks like a pretty good push here, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and drop these guards to kind of lay some cover fire for the Prince, and then I'm going to have my Zap ready, hovering over this little area. Him playing the Furnace is actually all totally fine by me, and it looks like he's going to leave the match. So it looks like that's a 3 crown there. So we'll go ahead and play one more match after this. So now I think we are 3-1-1, I believe. Not that it matters. Why do I even list that? I don't know. I guess it's just habit from my my sports days, or maybe even my nerdier days of like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. I'm not sure if any of you guys are old enough to remember that sort of thing. Actually, it's still popular nowadays, or somewhat popular. But I digress. Back to Clash Royale, and you know what, guys? We didn't make any adjustments to this deck the entire video, so that I guess that means that I actually like it, or I enjoy it the way it is. I feel like it's pretty well balanced. You know, the back of my mind right now, because we're doing ladder play in today's episode, I kind of feel like I should try to find a way to sneak in my newly maxed fire spirits. I've been trying to find an excuse to pretty much add them to any deck I can, and look at this, guys. I called it earlier in the video. We do finally have a match against Sparky. I'm going to sneak in this Prince on the left lane here because he's really committing hard to the right, although I am a little bit in danger here on the right as well. So these Barbarians are going to get to my tower here. I do a lot of damage. I do a lot of damage to that left tower. I'm going to drop the guards on the Sparky here, but I'm going to have a problem here with this Sparky for sure. I think he's probably going to get a hit off, and wow, that hit came faster than I thought it was, and I lose the tower. That was an absolute abomination there, guys. We did not want that to have happened. That's what happens when you try to get too cute and try to sneak in a 5 elixir cost Prince in the opposite lane when you have a Sparky Barbarian push coming at you. Don't get too greedy with this deck, guys. Do as I say, not as I do. So 1-to-1 elixir trade right now. I'm going to hold off on this poison. I'm just kind of hovering it to see if he plays anything in this left lane. If he does, which I really want him to, we'll go ahead and drop the poison. Come on, Sparky. Come on, Sparky. We're just waiting. Okay, there it is, Sparky. Boom. Perfect. So we have our giant on the board. We're just going to play the poison just a hair before the Sparky enters the range. That way we can be sure that the Sparky is in the poison radius the entire duration of its life there. So he plays Barbarians, countering my giant, also laying a little bit of cover fire for his Sparky. I'm going to play guards, and hopefully they can keep this Musketeer alive. Unfortunately, they do not. Again, I'm running into problems here against this Sparky here, guys. Here I was talking a big game about how I was going to counter Sparky, and look at this. I'm forced to play the giant here defensively against Sparky, and I mentioned earlier in the video that the giant is definitely one of the most underrated defensive cards in the game, and you can really see there why. I basically just saved my left tower there. So let's make this a comeback, guys. Come on here. I dropped the Musketeer on the Miner. I have the mini P.E.K.K.A. kind of going to town on those Barbarians. So I think my opponent here is really low on elixir, so he dropped that Ice Wizard. I'm not sure what he's going to try to counter at this point, my Musketeer or my Prince. My Musketeer actually goes down, but look at this, guys. The Prince is doing a lot of damage. Oh my word. My Prince just took out his entire right tower. That was absolutely huge. I'm just going to go ahead and keep zapping mini P.E.K.K.A. and poisoning on the left here defensively. My giant takes down his left tower. Now that is an ending that I wanted to have happen in this video. I don't think he has any direct damage, so it looks like a W for me, and that's what we wanted to have happen. dropping, guys. Wow, this is actually a pretty fun deck, guys, and it's nice to have a different type of deck for a change instead of all miner, all Royal Giant all the time, as you see all over TV Royale and YouTube and everywhere else. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, kind of breaking the meta a little bit, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.